As sky-high grocery prices take a big bite out of shoppers' bank accounts, it appears more people are resorting to supermarket shoplifting.
It doesn't surprise me because food is really expensive and people need to eat.
Concrete data is hard to come by because many cases go unreported, but one industry insider says the cost is substantial.
The average grocery store will lose anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 worth of food every single week.
Sylvain Charlebois says food thefts have risen 40% in the last 6 months, calling it a sign that Canadians are fed up with grocery companies.
If you go back a few years ago with the bread price fixing scheme, nobody went to jail, nobody was fined. The hero pay scandal, which happened during COVID, and now with food inflation being over 10%, people are upset.
Online, some actually condoning stealing groceries. Pricing people out of being able to afford food is worse than stealing food from a billionaire to survive. If grocery theft is bad, why are companies seeing record profits? Food is a right, not a privilege. In 2022, food prices climbed at a rate not seen in decades, and this year not expected to bring any relief. The Canada Food Price Report estimates all grocery prices will increase by an average of 5 to 7%. A typical family of 4 will shell out an average of $16,288 on food in 2023. $1,065 more than last year, or close to $100 more per month.
We need a stronger competition bureau. I mean, the reason why people are upset out there is because they don't feel protected.
Protected from price gouging disguised as inflation. Last week, the federal government said it's getting closer to implementing the country's first ever grocery code of conduct, a framework to enhance transparency in the food supply chain. Advocates say it would reduce the power of grocery giants and keep more money in the pockets of shoppers. Travis Prasad, Global News.
Chaos at an H-E-B. People seen fighting over food in the dumpster at the store on Slaughter and I-35 yesterday. Witnesses say employees were seen throwing out meat and other perishables after a power outage at the store. Someone posted on social media claiming there was free food at the store. Travis County Precinct 4 Constable George Morales says more than 250 people showed up at the H-E-B and fought over the thrown out groceries. Deputies and Austin Police showed up to mitigate the traffic. Due to the post, groceries taken from the dumpsters were posted to various Free in Austin pages on Facebook. Morales says if you or anyone you know picked up these groceries, throw them out. They're not safe to eat.
Chaos in Austin amid power outages as residents seen dumpster diving at H-E-B grocery store. Hundreds of people were seen dumpster diving and fighting over free food that was discarded by an H-E-B store after a power outage on Thursday. An official in Travis County, Texas, is warning the public not to eat the food retrieved from dumpsters outside the store, which was spoiled and unsafe for consumption. Witnesses said grocery store employees were seen tossing meat and other perishable foods after a power outage at the store caused them to start to go bad, Fox 7 Austin reported. But someone posted on social media that there was free food at the store. Soon after, more than 250 people showed up and began fighting over rotting trash, according to Travis County Precinct 4 Constable George Morales. This is not free food. Morales warned on Facebook. The food is rotten and spoiled and is unsafe to eat.
Welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Last spring in March at a press conference in Brussels, Joe Biden explained that the sanctions he was imposing against Russia, while morally necessary, were also going to cause food shortages around the world, including here in the United States. It's going to be real, he said. Now, Biden said this in a very odd way. There was no hint or panic, emotions you'd expect from a leader predicting the deaths of human beings from starvation. None of that. Instead, there was pure nonchalant casualness. Biden could have been describing the weather or a trip to the dry cleaners. It's going to be real. Then, Biden continued, recounting a conversation he'd had with European allies. He told us all about it. When he met with the group, Biden said, they spoke about, quote, how we could increase and disseminate more rapidly food shortages. That's what Joe Biden said, verbatim. It's on tape. So here you have the President of the United States pledging to increase food shortages at a press conference. Now, that seemed like a newsworthy event, but not a single news organization in this country seemed to notice it happened. So even people who aren't given to connecting the dots, who don't think of themselves as conspiracy nuts, began to wonder, is there something here? But no one could tell. The Biden administration had no answers and no way to get to the answers because they had no data. And that's interesting because the Biden administration tracks a lot of things, the things that it cares about, the race and ethnicity and sex life, for example, of every person in America. Do we have enough trans-Pacific Islanders playing woodwinds in major symphonies? How about gay Southeast Asians in long-haul trucking? These are the questions that concern the bean counters in the Biden administration. And yet at the same time, that same administration keeps no real records about the infrastructure of our food supply. Apparently that has never occurred to them. So honestly, we can't really know one way or the other because we don't have a baseline whether something strange is going on with food suppliers. But some days you do wonder. On Saturday, an enormous commercial egg farm in central Connecticut burned to the ground for no obvious reason. Huge fire. At least 20 fire departments responded, fought the blaze for over 8 hours. More than 100,000 chickens died. Now, that's a sad story, but what's interesting is that most media companies did not consider it a story at all. Weird, considering egg prices have become an actual problem for most Americans. Egg prices are up more than 100% in many places. So if you ask the Agriculture Department, for example, or anyone in the Biden administration, to the extent they're paying attention, which is not much, they'll tell you that egg prices are high because avian flu, and that's a completely natural virus just like COVID. The price have nothing to do with chicken farms burning down. Again, not that anyone in the government tracks that kind of thing. Why would they? Because nothing like that could ever happen. Settle down, QAnon! And a lot of people, particularly the national news media, people who could not identify a chicken if it didn't come with dipping sauce, are satisfied with that explanation. But we noticed that some farmers who deal with chickens every day are not convinced. Some chicken farmers have noticed something odd. Their chickens aren't laying eggs or as many eggs. And these chickens don't appear sick with avian flu. They're not dying, they're still alive. They're just not producing eggs. Now, healthy hens lay eggs on a regular basis every 24 to 26 hours. But suddenly, chicken owners all over the country, not all of them, but a lot of them, are reporting they're not getting any eggs or as many. So what's causing that? Clearly something's causing that. Some have concluded their chicken feed may be responsible. Watch.
Is the commercial feed the reason so many people's chickens have not been laying at all? This is a question that I am asking myself, and I have seen all over TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. I'm talking about chickens, tons of people who are having no eggs for 6-7 months. Like, this is not normal. I have at least 60 hens that should be laying. I have a flock of roughly 100, and I was getting 2 to 3 eggs in the summer, all summer long. I genuinely think it's the feed, especially after seeing so many people have the same problem, switching to a local feed and it fixing itself.
My comments on this: I can't even begin to tell you how dangerous this act is.